Hey everybody, Papa Wiggs here with Wiggs, doing another head-to-head. This one we thought would be a really good one with two players that had really interesting years last year. Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, first year with the Jets, steps out on the field and bam, pops his Achilles. Kirk Cousins plays in 8 games with the Vikings, or well, 7.5, right? And pops his Achilles. Who knows what kind of year Rodgers would have had last year? He definitely had a lot of weapons. I mean, um, actually, I really like the chances of both of these guys having a nice. If they stay healthy, I think they're both going to have a really nice um, fantasy football year. That's my opinion. Um, I think Cousins, in my opinion, if Cousins would have stayed healthy all year, he would have been coming close to probably breaking his career high in passing yards. His rookie year, I think it was he threw for like 4,900 yards,
No, that was like
or his third year. I'm sorry, his third year or fourth year in the season, he threw for no fifth year in the season, he threw for 4,900 yards, so I think he would have came really close to that because his Achilles popped halfway through their game 7 or game 8 last year, I should say. So I think he would have had a really good shot of beating it. He was already on pace to probably throw for just as many touchdowns as he's thrown in the past.
35 is his most.
35 was his highest, and he was already at 18. Uh, you know, so um, huge Vikings fan, as you guys know. Uh, I don't blame the Vikings for not wanting to resign Cousins. Uh, there was just no way to know what kind of shape he's going to be in, and I think at age 36, you know, I don't blame the Falcons for going after him. I just think they really really paid too much money.
Oh yeah.
Especially guaranteed money. I could be wrong. He may come out and he may fire it up. I mean, he's been known to do that. If Cousins comes out, he's fully healthy and he plays a whole year. He's got a lot of great weapons there. In Atlanta, he's got Bijan, who's arguably going to be one of the best running backs.
Top three.
This year he's got Drake London, who to me is going to be one of the top receivers. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have I think Kyle Pitts had a really good rookie year, and but was held back in the offense the way they were playing it. I think Kirk Cousins is actually going to bring out Kyle Pitts' best year this year, so I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a huge year. And then you throw in a guy
Darnell Mooney.
like Ray McLeod. He's a good receiver, and then you got Darnell Mooney too. So
You are trolling me right now.
so no, I will say this. Wiggs has been chirping in my ear about Mooney all off season here, especially when what's his name went down. I forget which receiver it was.
Rondale Moore, I believe.
Yeah, Rondale Moore. Wiggs is convinced that Mooney is going to have a huge year this year, and you know what? I can't really disagree with him on that point because you know when Kirk was with the Vikings, he brought out the best in Addison's rookie year. Kirk did a great job with Adam Thielen with Jefferson there. Did a great job with KJ Osborne. So I can't disagree with Wiggs. I think that Mooney could have one of his best years, especially now that he's the clear number 2. Because Ray McLeod, all joking aside, don't get me wrong, he's a fast guy. Good, he's good in special teams and stuff. That's what his kind of what his niche was um, with San Francisco, but he's never really been a in, has never had a really big impact um, in the receiving game in the past with San Francisco. I think that's not going to matter really though, because with Kyle Pitts being able to line up anywhere on the line, you can put him in the slot, you can line him up as a receiver, you can line him up in tight end spot. I think there's a lot there. I think you got Bijan who's going to be active in the passing game as well. I think they've got a good backup in entire Tyler Algier. So I think the Falcons is gonna they're gonna be a sneaky team this year. I think that if Cousins comes out there firing the ball like he did last year, he's gonna be on track for one of his better years. So now on the flip side of that, on the other side of that, I should say, you got Aaron Rodgers, right? Played one game last year. So
one drive.
Aaron's in a little bit um, more unique situation. He's definitely got arguably going to be the best running back in fantasy this year. I mean, I think Brees, if he stays out on the field, is going to give CMC a run for the money. They got a really good rookie running back that they drafted in Braden Allen, and Garrett Wilson. I think is going to be a beast this year. Um, After Garrett Wilson, though, I'm a little hesitant. I am interested to see where things are going to go. I think Mike Williams, when he's on the field, could be a really great target um, for Aaron. I think Alan Lazard's getting up there in age and he's losing a step or two. Um, I think the guy on the offense, though, um, that's going to be have a surprise season, and this is I'm just calling it right here is I think Tyler Conklin is going to be a surprise TE this year in fantasy because Aaron Rodgers, if there's one thing he's showing in all the years he's been playing, is he likes to throw to his tight ends, especially in the end zone. So Aaron's got a knack of finding his tight ends. Uh, he and I think and Tyler Conklin again, another former Viking. He was he's never lit up the world, but he's always been pretty consistent, and he's never really been given an opportunity to shine. So I think that this is going to be. I truly believe that this could probably be his best year in the league if healthy if health Rodgers is healthy all year. So I think that's going to be the X factor for Rodgers is Conklin. Um, so listen, I think both of these guys are definitely if they're healthy, they play all year. I think both these guys are going to be definitely over 4,000 yards.
Oh yeah.
Uh, um, you know, I truly believe that. I know a lot of people think that Rodgers doesn't have anything left in the tank. I disagree with that. I think Rodgers is going to go out there and he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to be over that 4,000 mark. I think both of these guys are definitely going to be over 30 touchdowns. Uh, if they stay healthy all year, I really do believe that both of these guys have the ability to be in that 30 to 35 passing TD range. Um, so uh, Cousins is one of the most accurate passers in the league. I mean, Drake London and Kyle Pitts are probably not going to know what to do with themselves because Cousins just knows how to get the ball to his targets. He's always proven that. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. These guys don't throw a lot of interceptions, so you're just not going to see a lot of interceptions out of either one of these guys. They're really good at protecting the ball. In regards to that, I think, you know, Cousins may he may fumble the ball a little bit more if and stuff, um, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. So I'm really interested to see how this goes because I think either one of these guys could be the comeback player of the year. I really do, and I think there's a lot of guys that are predicting that the Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl this year. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think they definitely have a shot. depending on how Aaron comes out. I think Atlanta is going to be a surprise team. I think that I think that Atlanta is going to surprise a lot of people, and they're going to win their division, and they're going to go to the playoffs this year. Some people might think I'm off my rocker, but if you look at their division, okay, and who's all in their division, I know there's a lot of people that talk about Tampa Bay, but I'm telling you, Tampa Bay to me is not going to have as great a season as people think they are. I like Mayfield there and everything like that, but they've lost a lot of key guys on defense. I just don't. I think that this is the year where Atlanta is going to be sneaky, and they got a good shot of taking the division from Tampa Bay. I don't see the Panthers or the Saints really having an impact. I think the Panthers are up and coming, and I think the Saints are are
They're
going to
probably
have
the
a.
worst in the division
I
right
think
now.
they're the worst in the division, but I think the Panthers are getting there, but they're not quite there yet. So I really think that the division is really up for grabs, and I think Atlanta's got a really good shot of doing that. And I think that's because they got Kirk Cousins. They've never had since to me they've never really had what I would consider a great quarterback since Michael Vick. So so having Cousins come in here is going to be huge. So what do you think, Wiggs? I know I went on a little bit long.
No, you're good. You're providing a lot of good insight there, and I agree with you. I think both of these guys are going to have pretty solid years as long as they stay healthy, and if they are healthy, they're going to play the entire year. Well, if there's any sort of injury, I think it comes early in the year, and I think it's one of those where it's kind of like, well, there's your career type thing. But in my eyes, both these quarterbacks are going to have great years. I know when we did our quarterback rankings, I had Aaron Rodgers a bit ahead of Kirk Cousins. I now thinking of, or maybe I had him like one spot lower. I don't know. Both these guys, in my eyes, could be top 10 guys, if not better, just due to the fact that they do have a lot of weapons around them. Like you said with Kirk Cousins, you have Bijan, you have Drake London, you have Darnell Mooney, you have Kyle Pitts. I mean, right there, that's literally reminded me of the Vikings of last year with, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, and then, well, a mediocre running back crew. But on the flip side of things, there for Aaron Rodgers, you have another top three running back. I mean, Bijan and Brees Hall, they're like comparable there. I think Conklin, like you said, will be a little underrated going into the year. And as we know from watching Aaron Rodgers year after year, twice a year, he does like to get his tight ends the ball. He does like to get his running backs the ball, so they'll get the ball. Garrett Wilson is going to be a top five guy in my eyes here in the league this year. Aaron Rodgers always finds some sort of player in clicks, and they go off. Saw it year after year with Devontae Adams. We saw it with Jordy Nelson a few times. And then on top of that, you still have Mike Williams, and if he can stay healthy, I could see this being a guy that gets the ball quite a bit. Both these quarterbacks, in my eyes, have receivers that will definitely go over 1,000 yards, and I think I could see two of them, if not three of these guys, going over 1,000 yards receiving. I think Kirk Cousins has a slight edge there because I think his receivers will be more healthy. I think Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and Kyle Pitts could all receive the ball for over 1,000 yards. I think even Bijan could have a good 500 or 600 yards receiving the ball. I think, like you said, Rodgers and Cousins will both throw for over 4,000 yards, if not 4,500 plus. They have the weapons. I will give a slight edge to Cousins because his guys tend to stay healthier. If you look on the flip side of things there for Rodgers, and Mike Williams gets hurt occasionally. Well, I shouldn't say occasionally, almost every year. And Alan Lazard occasionally gets hurt as well. So I kind of have to give Cousins that little bit of advantage there. The nice thing was having, the running backs they have, though, they can utilize them quite a bit in the passing game. That kind of makes up for it. Like someone like Brees Hall, I could easily see having 1,000 yards receiving the ball from Rodgers. If Mike Williams is hurt or Williams or Lazard are not performing.
Yeah, I can see either one of these guys winning comeback player of the year. It'll be interesting. I think that both of these guys, if you look at a lot of their rankings out there, I think the reason that they're ranked as low as they are is because of their age, and that both of them are coming off significant injuries, which is understandable. And again, this is what we're talking about here with both these guys is if they stay healthy. I mean, Rodgers is 40, Cousins is 36. Injuries happen, but both of them have proven to be pretty durable throughout their careers. They don't typically, experience a lot of injuries. So I'm going off of that basis and suspecting that they're going to be just fine and be playing the whole year. So it'll be interesting to see how both of these guys are. So you're probably not going to have a lot of people drafting these guys over a lot of other quarterbacks. If you're in a 12-man league, most guys, are probably, most teams are probably going to draft somebody that they're going to start over these guys, but they're definitely guys that should be on your bench. Because I will tell you, and Wiggs experienced this and stuff like that. The one mistake that I think a lot of fantasy football players make is they don't keep a solid backup QB on their bench. And last year there was multiple guys in our league that ended up losing quarterbacks, and they didn't have a backup plan. So these guys are definitely somebody that definitely should be drafted. I always have two quarterbacks, on my team. I typically don't shy away from that, unless it's something where, where I'm. Well, usually I don't shy away from it. I try to keep two QBs on my team. So anyways, with that, Wiggs, you got anything else? Or?
I got my hot take right here. You ready for this? This is gonna blow your socks off. These are your Super Bowl teams right here.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not saying. I'm not making that prediction here, but
that's clip it now, guys. Clip it now. Super
well, with that, check us out on Fantasy Fools PPR on YouTube. We're also out on Snapchat, X, TikTok, Instagram. Wiggs is uploading content out there, every day. Check us out. We hope you guys are finding this information beneficial, and you continue to check us out. So don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.